Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Professor Dr. Fathur Rahman M.Hum, the Honorable ISET Leader, and all participants. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to explain my presentation. First of all, let's pray and thanks unto our God who has been giving us some mercies and blessings so we can attend and gather in this place in good condition and happy situation. Standing in front of you all, I would like to deliver my presentation under the title Rule of RMA Approach to Auditory, Intellectually, Repetition Learning on Mathematical Communication Ability. First, I want to tell my article about introduction. What is the mathematics? Mathematics is an exact science that is the basis of other science. So mathematics is interlinked with other science. One of the abilities that need to be developed in learning mathematics at school is mathematical communication ability. Therefore, to develop mathematical communication ability is to provide innovation in learning that is able to develop mathematical communication ability. So, one innovative learning that can develop communication ability is learning auditory intellectually repetition or IR with RMA. Purpose of my article is the role of the RMA approach in IR learning on student mathematical communication ability. The second, I will tell about discussion. Mathematical communication ability. In mathematical communication ability, there are 6 indicators. The first, starting real project situation and daily event in the form of mathematical models. Mathematical model is a picture, tables, diagram, graph, and algebraic expression. Second, explain idea and mathematical models into ordinary language. The third, explain and make mathematical question learn. 4. Listening, discussing, and writing about mathematics. 5. Read with understanding of a written presentation. And the last, making conjecture, compiling argument, formulating definition, and generalization. Okay, next, the role of RMA approach IR. First, IR is auditory intellectually repetition. Auditory means that learning must be through listening, speaking, presenting, expressing opinions, and responding. To intellectual means that learning must the ability to think must be with mind concentration and practice using it to practice solve problem and apply. And then intellectual means learning by thinking to solve problems, thinking ability to try to practice reasoning, create, solve problems, construct, and apply. And the last, repetition means deepening, expanding, and establishing student by giving assignment or quizzes. And then RMA is a realistic mathematics education. In RMA, there is a step of RMA. First, understanding realistic problems. Second, describing realistic problems. The step 1 and 2 from RMA in first step of IR, step in auditory. And then resolving realistic problems, comparing and discussing answer, the third and fourth step of RMA in intellectual from IR. And the last conclude in repetition step of IR. Okay, so this is IR have correlation with RMA. And then I correlation IR, RMA, and mathematical communication ability. There is 6 indicators from mathematical communication ability. The first, in order to student can be finished to first step mathematics, communication ability, that student will do learning with learn air model to auditory, step with understanding realistic problems. Second of indicator mathematical communication ability, have finished, that student will do learning with learn of air model to auditory step with describing realistic problems. The third of indicator mathematical communication ability, same with second indicator mathematical communication ability. Fourth, listening, discussing, and writing about mathematics. Have finished, that student will do learning with learn air model to intellectual with resolving realistic problems. And then read this with understanding of a written presentation. Have finished, that student will do learning with learn air model to intellectual with comparing and discussing answer. And the last, making conjecture, compelling argument, formulating definition, and generalization. Have finished, that repetition with conclude. Okay, so I have correlation with RMA in mathematical communication ability. And the aim is that the learning process can work well with RMA approach higher learning that will improve mathematical communication ability. That's all my presentation. I hope my research will be useful for you all. As human being, I realize that I cannot avoid the mistake. So I apologize, and I don't forget to say thanks so much for your attention. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.